This is a talk this morning. I'm going to be reading from the Gita, but I wanted to begin by just sharing with you a little bit about what this book means to all of us. And Swami Kriyananda was with Yogananda in the desert in California when Yogananda was in a very high state and writing his interpretations of the Gita. And Kriyananda sat at his feet for many weeks and months and wrote down all of the commentaries that are in this book. And he memorized them, not only in his heart but in his mind. He had a complete memory of every word. And then that work was put away in a vault. And it's so beautiful, Arjuna's relationship with Krishna. And remember that Yogananda was Arjuna in a previous incarnation. This is our guru, Kshatriya, the warrior for God. He was Arjuna in a previous incarnation, and that's the incarnation in which he found God. And he followed his guru. He listened to his guru. He opened up to his guru's grace, and he acted on the wisdom and the teaching of his guru. He acted. He didn't only sit in satsangs. He didn't only think about it. He didn't only read the books. He took this treasure of a teaching and he acted on it. Krishna said to Arjuna, when Arjuna was asking, what's the best way to find God? Should it be through devotion? Is it through wisdom? What's the best way? And Krishna said to Arjuna, "Be thou a yogi, Arjuna." Why? Why a yogi? Because it gives us something to do in this world. These techniques that we practice are powerful transformational techniques that will change our consciousness. Be thou a yogi. And that's what we are coming into this path. What is a yogi? A yogi is someone who is seeking to be one with God. Yoga means union. A yogi is actively seeking to become one with God. And what does that mean, to be one with God? It means that we are going to find out one day that we are in a state of perfection right now. And this dream we are going to wake up from and realize that we have been deluded to thinking that this is reality, that this body, this personality, our jobs, our marriages, our children, our worries, our anxieties, our suffering, our joys, all of it is a delusion. And when you go inside through the practice of these techniques, Kriya Yoga, when you go inside and you begin to touch that part of yourself that is hiding in your heart, been hiding for so many incarnations, you begin to identify with that part of yourself that is one with God. Because we are all in a state of perfection right now. We can't forget that, but we have forgotten. And when we bring the guru into this technique and ask him for his help, he will help us to become self-realized. He will do it. But we need to open up and we need to ask. We need to yearn for God as a drowning man yearns for air. That's how much we have to yearn for God. Because this world conspires to pull us away. We're being conspired minute by minute to pull us away. You know, let's wake up in the morning. Well, let's turn the alarm off and go back to sleep. First conspiracy against us. Let's go back. Let's not get up and meditate. I'm too tired. Let's not meditate at night. I'm too tired. I'm exhausted. So let's not meditate at night. Okay, we have bought into the conspiracy. It's a conspiracy to keep us from our own selves. It's crazy. But each time we say yes, each time we give the guru our willingness, he gives us his grace. Every moment he will be there for us, but we need to open up. Each little step takes us further and further inside our own souls. Each step along the way. It's so important to understand that loving God is the most important thing that we can do. Because through that love is magnetic. We think our puny little love, what's that going to do? But once you align that love with the Guru's love, then you are aligned with Divine Mother. And she can do anything. She can do anything in your world. Sometimes I think, we go through our lives and we have a lot of troubles. There's a lot of things that happen to us along the way. We have suffering. We have limitation. We have our feelings hurt. We have nobody respects us. We don't quite ever have enough money. Our kids never quite measure up. The husbands and wives never quite do it for us. There's always that never quite. And we suffer because we always go after it in the wrong way. But when we suffer, that's a good thing. Because that's when we turn to God. And we say, why, God? Why is this happening to me? I didn't deserve this. Maybe not in this life, but it's very good to consider that we have drawn every single thing in our life our own selves. We're right here in this moment because this is what we've drawn. And so we have to accept that. We have to accept our lives. We have to accept who we are. We have to accept our limitations. We have to accept the suffering. Because through these experiences given to us by a loving God, total loving God, He only wants us to come home. That's His only reason for putting us on this crazy earth. By going through it, you come out purified. Somehow you're purified. And you don't have to think those thoughts anymore. Your heart doesn't have to feel those emotions anymore. You're purified. Think of it, the worst time in your life. What do? You turn to God. But when everything's going great, you're looking good and you got money in the bank and everything's going your way and it's the perfect job and everybody loves you and you're on TV and everybody in the world loves you and you're clicking. Everything is going your way. Who thinks of God then? No, you just want more of it. That's what you want. Well, if this is what the world can give me, then I want more. Then you get further and further and further away. So you get a little bit of suffering and you turn to God. What a blessing. What a blessing the suffering is in our life. And unfortunately, we're so thick, that's the only way that we listen. But just think of it, nobody can find God but you. Nobody can find God for you. The gurus can't do it for you. They'll help you. But we have to take the initiative and open up and say, I need help. I will do what you say. These gurus here on the altar, just these for starters, there's hundreds, self-realized masters, they have been through all of the situations that we have been through. They know. There was a time when they weren't free. There was a time when they were just like us, when they were going through life, thinking, where are you, God? Why am I here? What's the point of my life? There was that time. But then there was that time when they became free. And now they are in ecstasy. And because of the compassion of their hearts, and they've been there, they've come back to bring these teachings to us so that we too can be free. That's the promise. That's the promise of the gurus. We too can be free. And there's so many ways that we can do that during the day. Sometimes we think ecstasy, great, that's for somebody else. Super consciousness, great, I'm reading about it in a book, great, someday. We think it's so far away from us. But Yogananda defines self-realization. I love his definition for this. He said, self-realization is the knowing in every part of our body, our mind, and our soul that we are a part of God. And that we don't have to pray, come to me, oh come to me. He said, all you have to do is improve your knowing. Improve your memory. That's all we have to do to find God, to be self-realized, to realize we are part of God and infinite. That's all we have to do, a memory. We have to remember. And so that's why we meditate. We meditate to calm the mind, to still that restless vibration that is keeping us engaged in this world. Go inside and drink from that pool of divine love and bliss, and remember, that's who I am. And Yogananda said, when you become self-realized, it's just like waking up from a dream, and the dream falls away, and then you're in the light. Just like waking up from sleep. You can't remember your dreams so much, can you? No, they disappear in the reality. But your reality becomes who you really are. Yogananda used to say, if you think me near, I will be near. If you think me near, I will be near. That's a promise. All you have to do is think of him. Think of Yogananda. Think of the Guru. And he's going to be right there with you. That's a promise. Seems like a pretty easy thing. Just think me near, and I will be near. And so, in this life, it's a blessing beyond all the other blessings, is to have a true Guru, to have a spiritual path, to have a technique that will help you go inside, to get in touch with your own soul. That's what Kriya Yoga is all about. What a blessing. Help one another, pray for one another. One of the things that Kriyananda brought to this planet was community. Yogananda's dream was spiritual community. He was wanting that so much, that people gather together, like-minded souls, and live simply with high ideals, meditate together, serve God together. And I think in India, Swamiji came back here because he feels that the Indian culture is ripe for that. Spiritual communities. You know, we have all sorts of communities, but when you put God as the focus and Guru as the focus in a spiritual community, then you bring light into your life. And you begin to share that light with everyone else. And that's what we've done at Ananda. You know, we've 40 years now. Spiritual community at Ananda. Now we have a beautiful community in Pune. We're having one here. This beautiful center in Chennai is not just about, oh good, now I have a place to go on Saturday if I can fit it into my schedule, you know, or I hope that they're having the satsang because I can't make it because I have to go out tonight or whatever. You know, we start thinking that the center is always here, and then we just kind of forget about it and hope that it's still there. In a spiritual community, the vibrancy of that experience is because everybody's involved. It's because you're putting you're acting on your spiritual life, and you're sharing, you're coming, you're singing, you're chanting, you're meditating, you're lifting the vibration of Chennai. You're lifting the vibration of India every time you meditate together as a group and serve together as a group. Please take it seriously, satsang, because satsang is going to help you through the hard times. Because there will be hard times. We all have karma. That's okay. We'll get through. What comes of itself, let it come, it says in the Gita. We'll get through. But when you have spiritual bodyguards and friendships to help you through these times, it makes life so much sweeter. It just makes life sweet. And there's so much you can do in serving the Guru. So now we have a center here in Chennai. I'm just thrilled by it. And last night the feeling at the kriya ceremony was so deep. And people here are so deep and so in tune. You could feel it. We were very uplifted after the service last night. It was so beautiful. And so you're not starting off on square one. We've all done this together before. That's what Swamiji said. Because people say, you know, here we are from America. And I feel like I know every single person here in the room. What's that? What is that? There's no barrier. It's like we're all on the same page. And Kriyananda said that's because we've done it before. We've had spiritual friendships before, and now we're meeting again in this life. It's our choice. We knew before we were incarnated. It's our choice. Here we are. We're doing it again. Well, let's do it with enthusiasm. We've done a lot of homework in past incarnations even to arrive at this point, and to recognize that spiritual connection in each one of us. You know, we've done a lot of work Don't let that work go to waste. We don't want to keep coming back and back and back and back and back. We want to be able to be very strong in our magnetism so that we can help others be free. We want to free ourselves, like it said in the beginning of the reading in the Gita. We want to free ourselves, but the best prayer is so that you can share it with all. Isn't it wonderful to be able to share spiritual teachings? Spiritual teachings, unconditional love, unending joy, wisdom, compassion, forgiveness, all of these qualities in this world that are just ignored now. You know, this world is becoming so materialistic, it's almost a joke. But you have little points of light all over the planet, in Chennai, in Bangalore, in Gurgaon, in Pune, in Mumbai, all over Calcutta, all over India. And these lights are growing and connecting. And there's a lot of interaction because we're communing on a spiritual level. It's not a physical thing. It's a spiritual vibration that's going out. And the deeper we meditate, the more we tune into that. And we become strong within so that we can be strong without. And we can help this world. You know, I'm going to close with this, but we did choose this life. We think it's random. We were just born in these families, and what are we doing here, and why was I born? But there was a point before we incarnated where we knew what our job was. We knew who our parents were. Master said we knew, we chose it because we knew what our soul needed to be free. And we had to go through certain things. So we chose this life. But Kriyananda said devotees choose not only to work out the worldly karma, they choose their incarnations to be able to serve. Because on a very high level, before we're born on this plane, we know we want to serve, and our hearts are full with what we can do and to help. We just want to help, and our hearts are open, and we just knew that that's what we wanted to do. And so we're born, our memory goes, when we enter the birth canal, and here we are, wah, 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 crying. Who am I? Where am I going? What's my life about? But now, through all of it, you've come to the point, we've all come to the point where we know what our life is about. Now we know. What a blessing. This life has not been for naught. This life, every experience, every conversation, every suffering, every joy has led us to this point. And now we know that's what our life is about, to serve God and to share His love. That's all. Loving God. Yogananda used to say it again and again and again. Loving God. That's all that matters. Loving God. And that love will guide us. And we tune into that love by meditating on a very deep level every day. Touch that love and then share it. So it's our joy to be here in India. And, Haridas and I and Dharmini and Dharmaraj and Devendra, everybody, all the people in Ananda, Tulasi, that have been here for a while, that's our only motivation, is to share. And so with each one of us, we're sharing, and then you touch one heart, you touch another, you touch another, you touch another. You don't know where it goes. In the Gita it says, be unattached to all of your actions, but you know it's going somewhere, because the more you share your love, the more connected you are to Divine Mother. And that's the point of our existence. And someday we'll all be dancing in that light again. Very soon, very soon. This life flies by. We were looking at our pictures. We used to have long hair, and he used to be all, the hippie, hairy, dark Haridas, and I used to have long hair and youthful, and it's gone. Now we look at we have the gray hair, we don't relate. But the life went by so fast. So we need to grab onto the moments and take it seriously. What are we doing with our life? It's going by like a freight train, guaranteed. Look at Swamiji's in the astral world now. Incredible when you think about it. So grab this life, grab this moment. Use it to your advantage, actually, because no one will find God for you. Only you can do that. There's a lot of help if you open up, but you are the one. And Divine Mother has a song to sing through each one of us. Let's tune in to what that song is and serve in a very loving, joyful, humble way in this world. So thank you for having us in Chennai. And I would encourage you all to come to the center as often as you can. And there's just so much joy in the future. So much joy. All of us together.